Welcome to the Brand Crimes Unit. Hello, everybody. Before we begin, I want to be clear about what you have just stepped into. This is the Brand Crimes Unit, a 14-part audio series designed to help business owners understand why their brands start to feel off long before anything actually breaks, and how to recognize, investigate, and resolve those issues without panic, reinvention, or self-blame. So if you've pressed play because something in your business doesn't feel wrong exactly, but doesn't feel right either, you are in the right place. Now, this series is not about fixing your website or about rewriting your bio, and it's not about chasing clarity through more effort, more content, or more optimization. Instead, it's about understanding what changed, why it changed, and what your brand is actually responding to. And that understanding alone often does more than any tactic ever could. Now, Brand Crimes Unit runs as a sequence of short investigative episodes. Each of them are well under 15 minutes in length. Every episode opens with a single case, a specific recognizable brand problem, and examines it carefully, not to assign fault, not to offer quick fixes, but to slow the situation down enough for meaning to emerge. Now, you are not required to take notes. You are not expected to complete any worksheets, and you don't have to prepare in advance or do this the right way. I mean, what is the right way? All that is asked of you is attention, just honest, curious attention. Each episode will offer a few simple ways to reflect on your own business decisions, patterns, and habits. These are not assignments meant to improve your performance. They are prompts meant to restore your perspective. So you can listen while you're walking, you can listen while you're driving, you can listen while folding laundry or pacing across your office. I just find that the work happens best when you're not trying to impress anyone and when you let it all sort of absorb in first before you make any big decisions or changes. So the Brand Crimes Unit was created for entrepreneurs who are capable, thoughtful, and frankly already doing a lot of things well, but still feel unsettled. It is for consultants who sound professional but indistinguishable from everyone else, for coaches whose language has become safe instead of specific, for freelancers who have outgrown the version of themselves their brand still presents. It's for creative agencies buried under process-heavy messaging, for tech and SaaS founders who trust dashboards more than their own judgment, for personal brands that feel increasingly performative, for high achievers who are exhausted but still holding everything together. And yes, it's for all of you who are in, whether it be virtual spaces or brick and mortar spaces as well. If your brand technically works, but it no longer feels like you, this series was created just for you. If you have ever thought, I can't tell if the problem is my strategy or something deeper, this series is for you. And if you have been searching for clarity but only finding more complexity, more noise, this series is for you. Now, most people think brand problems arrive loudly with a big bang. A dip in sales, a website that suddenly feels wrong, a launch that doesn't land the way it should. But the real brand crimes, the ones that do lasting damage, almost never look like emergencies at first. They show up quietly in the tone of your copy, in the decisions that you keep second guessing, in the way that your business starts to feel unfamiliar, even though, hello, you built it yourself, right? They show up when you're doing everything right, yet increasingly feeling disconnected from the work that you're doing and the way that you're talking about it. So that's where this series begins. So my name is Lisa Ann Gallagher. I am the founder of Archetypes of Success. I am an author, content creator, and a professional development coach. And for years, my work has lived at the intersection of storytelling, psychology, and leadership. I have worked with entrepreneurs across industries, solopreneurs, consultants, creatives, founders, executives, And the through line is always the same. People don't struggle because they lack discipline or intelligence. They struggle because the story holding their business together no longer fits who they are. And over time, over 10 years of doing this now, I noticed something important. Founders don't talk about brand problems like business problems. They personalize them. They talk about them like relationships that have changed without their consent. So they'll say things like, I don't recognize my business anymore. I don't know when it stops sounding like me. Or everything is technically working, but something feels off. Those are not strategy problems. Those are crime scenes. So roll out the yellow tape. Let's rope this off. Start pulling the forensics and digging into it. Now, brand crimes are not going to necessarily involve any bad intentions. They don't require villains, and they are not the result of laziness or incompetence. They are committed slowly, often with the best motives. People trying to sound professional, trying to be consistent, trying to follow the rules, and trying to grow without losing ground. But somewhere along the way, survival strategies harden into identity. The templates replace judgment. Optimization replaces trust. And the original story gets distorted. Not destroyed necessarily, but maybe buried. The Brand Crimes Unit exists to uncover those distortions. We've got the bloodhounds. They're going to sniff them out, and they're going to root them out of the ground. So in each episode, for the next 12 days, we will examine one case per audio. We look at what the brand looks like on the surface, what decisions led there, what those decisions were responding to at the time, and what the brand is actually asking for now. We're not going to rush to solutions, and we're not going to diagnose from a distance. We don't pretend that there's only one correct answer, because the fastest way to resolve a brand problem is actually to understand the human behavior underneath it. So this series is not about rules. I'm not really a rule gal. I mean, yeah, I'm playing detective for this series, so there are certain rules that you have to follow in order to investigate and solve, right? But in life, I don't love rules. I'm kind of a jeans and t-shirt and DIY it myself, kind of gal. So the series is not going to be about rules, and it's not about branding best practices, whatever the F that means. It's not about becoming more polished, louder, or more visible. It is about recognition. Recognizing patterns before they harden into problems. Recognizing when something that once worked is actually quietly working against you. Recognizing yourself in the decisions that you've been making on autopilot. Now, every case is different on the surface, but they all circle the same truth. Brands are not static. They are living systems. They reflect the people who lead them, their fears, their strengths, their growth, and also their blind spots. So we're going to move the way a true crime investigation moves through each of the episodes of this series. We will open the file. We will reconstruct what happened. We will name the moment that things went sideways, and then we will close the case, not with judgment, but with clarity. Now, sometimes there's going to be a little bit of humor that goes along with this. Sometimes there's grit. Sometimes things get uncomfortably honest. That's part of the work. Now, you don't need to be doing branding wrong to be here. You just need to be paying attention. If your business outgrew a version of you faster than you expected, and boy, do I know what that feels like, because that happened to me. If you're unsure whether the problem is execution or identity, maybe a little bit of both. If you suspect that the issue isn't effort, but alignment, then you didn't stumble into this series by accident. You chose it because something in you recognized the pattern. So let's talk about what happens next. Each episode investigates one case and offers a few practical ways to begin identifying and resolving your own brand crimes, quietly, intelligently, and without panic. By the time we're done, you won't just see brand problems differently. You'll start noticing the patterns behind your own decisions too. So tomorrow we are back for episode 1, and we will open the case of the vanished vision statement. See you back here tomorrow.